All right, people, what's up? This is your man Brandon coming live from the home based Visionary Studios. This episode is sponsored by me, Brandon Thorpe of Visionary Lending. But in all seriousness, as I normally say, I hope that you and your families are well. May God be blessing you during this time. Just wanted to talk to everyone today about a few things. Number one, in case you are not aware, the Federal Housing Administration has recently made a change with regards to their guidelines on student loans. Okay. And so in the past, they had a ridiculous, stupid, asinine, and other very descriptive words, guideline and rule with regards to how they viewed people's student loans that were in deferment. Basically, they would say it doesn't matter what the payment was or wasn't, we're going to count the greater of 1% or whatever's on the credit report, which is ridiculous. And it really did not serve well at all with regards to helping people qualify. In fact, it was uh, how can I say this? It was a major hurdle for people to have to overcome just because you got a college education, you happen to have student loans. So, that's my rant, my 30-second rant on that. But the Federal Housing Administration has basically made a new change. Now it's down from 1% to 0.5%. And that's essentially in alignment with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And truth be told, historically, if you look at their guidelines on student loans, they do follow the coattails of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which is great. But they should have done this months and months and months ago, and they could have helped thousands upon thousands of people to actually be able to purchase homes. But better late than never. So basically, what happens is this: if you have $30,000 in student loans, for example, and your student loans are deferred, a lot of people defer their student loans, right? You may have a zero payment on your credit report because you have an income-based repayment plan or something like that. In the past, they would say, nope, your monthly payment is $300 because that is 1%. Okay. But now that has been changed where it's only 0.5%. So they're going to assign a payment to you in terms of what's called your debt to income ratio of $150 because that's 0.5%. Do you actually have to pay that? No. But as far as their guidelines are concerned, they assign that within your debt to income ratio. So this really has the biggest effect, truth be told, mathematically on people who have gone to either more expensive universities or have gotten master's degrees or PhDs where you have $90,000, $120,000, $140,000 in student loan debt. So it really helps those individuals to more easily qualify for a loan when you have the 0.5%. So to me, it's a big deal. I definitely applaud the FHA for making that change because again, the charter and the whole purpose, right, of the FHA, especially these days. In the past, not so much, but these days really is to help people and give people a voice, especially those of color and minorities, to really experience the joys of home ownership or first-time home ownership. So if you have questions about that, definitely reach out to us and we can explain it in more detail or in more layman's terms for you for sure. So now in terms of if you have student loans, if you don't have student loans, right? We've talked about this before. You're hearing it in different places. The market is still definitely heavily leaning toward sellers and sellers having the advantage or having what's called leverage because there's still far more demand for homes than there is for people that are selling their homes. However, I have seen in the slightest bit that changing a little bit here, at least in the DMV area. I can't speak for other areas of the country. Now, what does that mean? It just basically means that, in my opinion, from what I have observed, specifically from March, April, and May, that was like ridiculous time where it was just like, you throw some meat in the pool and the piranha just circle around and eat it to the bone. Now, yeah, you'll have maybe anywhere between 2 to 5 or 3 to 6 offers per house, whereas before it might have been 10, 12, 15 or more, but I see that number coming down more and more, and it's giving, buyers a little bit more of a shot. But let me talk about that. I've had some talks with 3 or 4 different agents who work for different real estate agencies recently. For those who work with Compass up in Maryland, for those who work with EXP or with Samson Samson Properties down in Virginia, with Remax. I've had different conversations, and they're all saying, the same thing, that this is a time where it's very easy to get discouraged as a realtor. So now I'm talking to realtors out there, right? And my encouragement to you, as I've done before, is to hang in there. Yes, especially if you're working with buyers. What happens is this: in real estate and in mortgages, we have to really work hard to gain, to maintain, and to finish with our clients, and to make sure that we lock on to their loyalty. So a buyer will sign a form called a BBA, or a buyer broker agreement, with a realtor, which basically means, hey, you got to work with me. And if you don't, I'm still going to get paid. Well, that's true, but it's not necessarily true, because that buyer, for their own good reasons, can go ahead and terminate that agreement and go work with somebody else. And especially with mortgages, there's nothing that we can do at all, especially as being a mortgage broker, that can just stop someone from going to do a loan application somewhere else at any point in the process. So it is incumbent upon us. It is extremely important for us to build that relationship, and to maintain that relationship throughout, so that people trust that we have their best interest in mind from start to finish. Okay. And that's what we do here at Visionary Lending. We give every effort for that in that area. Are we human beings? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do we sometimes drop the ball? Absolutely. I'm going to be very honest about that. But we are constantly focused on improving. We're constantly focused on evolving and changing and growing, and making sure that our clients are numero uno. Okay. Because we know that people are people, right? You're adults, you have families, jobs, you have plans, you have things that you want to do, and we are respectful of those things, for sure. So you're not just a number. Okay. You're not just a faceless whatever, loan number. No, you're an actual individual or family, a human being. And we really do care about that. And we do our best to make sure that people really do feel that deep down inside. So with that said, getting back to talking to realtors, it can be very discouraging, because you may have a buyer or 2 or 3. And what happens is this: buying a home is a very emotional experience. It really is. For like 99% of the people out there, unless you're an investor, right? But, if you're going to live in that home, whether it's by yourself or if it's with family, you want to make roots there. You want to have a good neighborhood, good schools, good amenities, good commute. And you want to feel good about where you are living. And so you may find a home that has the perfect layout, the perfect color scheme, the perfect kitchen, this and the other, and you want that house. And you put in a strong offer, and you wait a day or two, and then you find out, unfortunately, your offer wasn't accepted. And that has happened to so many people that we've been working with over the past 6 months. Dozens and dozens and dozens it's happened to, and the balloon just gets deflated. What I was talking to an agent about yesterday is this: we have to remember that we have to set the right expectation for our clients, because yes, we understand and we know and we respect the fact that it is it's an emotional experience. But at the same time, we have to be able to detach ourselves from that emotion until we have a ratified contract, right? Because what happens is, deep down inside, these buyers will get frustrated and they will point the finger at the realtor, right? And they'll say, I didn't get that offer. What happened? And even though it has nothing to do with your realtor, they still blame the realtor deep down inside, and they may not say that directly. Or they may say, well, am I open to working with another agent? Is that possible? Which basically means they feel that you failed them, which is absolutely not the case, right? Because especially in this market, it is a business decision for sellers. If I'm a seller, I'm going to care about 2 things. Okay. I'm going to care, number 1, about who is going to give me the best numeric offer so that I can net the most amount of cash in my pocket. Number 1. And then number two, who's going to close on time and make sure that things aren't late. Now let me kind of squeeze in a little bit of something there, and I'm also going to care about if the buyer's asking for a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a part of it, but at the end of the day, how much money am I going to net? Okay, and can we close on time? That's from a seller's perspective, right? So we don't know, for ethical reasons, we don't know all of those other offers that may have come in and beat our buyers. We don't know. But what we do know is that we can only put our best foot forward. And our buyers need to have the right expectation to not go all in, put all the chips in until we know that we have a ratified, executed, completed contract. Okay. Because we're setting ourselves up for failure. And as I've said before, and I will say it again, and I will challenge anyone out there to step to me with regards to this statement. Many realtors, when it comes to them being the listing agent, have a very limited vocabulary, because they only, when it comes to loans from a buyer, they only care about one: conventional, right? It's like you ever see Finding Nemo, right, with all the seagulls or whatever, and they were like, mine, right? All these realtors are like, conventional. It's like, really? Like, do you even know what a conventional loan is? Right? Do you even know how it works? Right? Do you even know some of the fundamental differences between FHA and VA and conventional? And it's like, what they're doing, which is wrong, is they are unduly influencing sellers and steering them, as far as I'm concerned, toward a certain type of loan, even though, to accept from a buyer, even though it may not be the best deal for the buyer. At the end of the day, if someone has an FHA loan, but they're offering the most on the house and they're going to be able to close on time, then get it done. If you have a veteran, right, a VA loan, and they're offering the most on the house and they'll be able to close on time, then do the VA loan, because it's best for your sellers. A lot of realtors out there are self-serving, selfish people because they have a lack of understanding. And yes, I said it because I mean it. Okay. When you have an understanding where you want to have the offer that is best for your client, which is not always a conventional loan, right? And if you need some understanding on that and would like to have a nice civil conversation, please give me a call, because I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. But I'm speaking on behalf of my clients. I'm speaking on behalf of my constituents, right? Or for people who are very well qualified and eager and deserving to purchase a home and haven't been given that opportunity yet, because agents are choosing conventional loans over their offer, which is just simply not right. But hey, there's not much I can do about it. All I can do is give very strong pre-approval letters, make sure that my people are ready to go. And God willing, at some point, they will get into a home as soon as possible. Thanks for the comment, Chris. Preach it to the choir. So that's with regards to that. But again, getting back to the agents out there who are representing buyers, my encouragement to you is definitely not to get discouraged, but to hang in there, because the market, as we know, the market just tends to shift. Once we get through the summer and into the fall, the vast majority of the people who've been looking for homes have already done so in terms of purchasing, right? You'll still have a number of people who are selling their homes, but the number of potential buyers has gone down. So as a result, the competition has gone down. And so there's a little bit more parity. And as a result of that, it gives you a much better opportunity for our buyers to get into a home, So, that's what I wanted to share with regard to that. Not necessarily saying, you know what, I'm just going to bag it, I'm going to throw it in. They're realtors that I've talked to who just want to work with sellers. And I don't blame you, right? Because it's the least amount of work. Let's be honest about it. It is minimal work in this environment. And with buyers, it is maximum work. And that's just the truth. As a mortgage broker, we do not work with sellers, right? So we always do maximum work. We do the heavy lifting, but it is our joy and it is our glory to be able to do that, to help people in any way possible, because that's part of our mission. It's part of our focus to help people, to serve them. And as I've said many times before, we are an advocate for people. And we will continue to be an advocate as long as we possibly can, because we sincerely care. So we're going to give our time. We're going to give our heart. We're going to give our competence, right? We're going to give our communication to as many people as possible. And with that said, the final thing that I'm going to mention is this. Between now and the end of the year, okay, and we might even take this into next year, what we're going to do is this. We have a special down payment assistance program that we have access to here at Visionary Lending, okay, where it's an FHA loan and you have to have at least a minimum credit score of a 620. Let me repeat that: minimum credit score of 620. So don't call me with a 560 and be like, well, I heard about your first time home buyer program. No, you didn't. Okay. A minimum of a 620. It's an FHA loan where you have no down payment. Okay. And we can explain the details. You will have to come to the table with your own closing costs. We do not give money for down payment and closing costs. Okay. But for down payment, absolutely. And we're making this available, also offering to cover the upfront appraisal cost for law enforcement, healthcare professionals, first responders, and teachers. Let me repeat that: for for law enforcement, okay, for healthcare professionals, first responders, and teachers. If you are in those fields, okay, and we get documentation confirming that you work in those fields here in the DMV, okay, and if you want to take advantage of this down payment assistance program for an FHA loan and have us cover the upfront $500 to $600 cost of an appraisal, we are more than happy to serve you as you serve us in our community as a token of appreciation from Visionary Lending to you. Okay. So we will talk more about that. I'll be putting out more videos with regards to that. I'll be putting out stuff on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and shout out to my man, Anton Keith from Small Circle Social. All right. I'm going to do a shameless plug for his podcast, The Humble Savage Podcast. Right. We'll be talking about this everywhere because it's all about serving and giving to people. It is more blessed to give than it is to receive. And I'm not going to preach, but what I'm saying is that I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I firmly believe that people should have the opportunity, right? At least the opportunity to own their own home, right? Is it like some entitlement where something has to be given to you? No, I don't believe in giving stuff. Okay. But I believe in opening the door for opportunity so that you can walk through it and we can earn those things and we can work for those things together. Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for your time. Love you all. Stay safe out here. Stay hydrated. It's hot out. Hit the pool, do something, right? Okay. And definitely look forward to seeing everyone. Shout out to Stephanie Gordon, or Stephanie Sells the DMV. Check out her YouTube page. She has a new commercial that shows her walking in stilettos through some big house somewhere, right? She's a fantastic realtor. Highly, highly recommend. Steph Sells the DMV. I'm always give shout outs to my people. Shout out to the Giovanna Holmes Group, right? Shout out to Carmen Jeregi of Compass. Shout out to Jolene Smith up in B-More, holding it down with JS Realty. Going to always show love, going to always share the love. And that's what we do. That's what we're all about here at Visionary Lending. Oh, shout out to my man, Rick Wanzer. Can't forget you, Rick. We got to hit up another basketball game. Guys, take care. Love you. See you again soon. Peace.